is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays, and I'm King here to bridge the gap between the community and crypto every day, Monday through Friday at 10-ish. I like to sink it in. We are live. Fight! Oh, I love that intro. And we are live. Good afternoon, crypto warriors, and welcome back to another episode of the Gem into Crypto, episode 1343, I believe. Today is Friday, June 5th, 2026, and I'm King, here to bridge the gap between the community and crypto. Very few days these days, Monday through Friday. And today, top stories we'll be going over, of course, Bitcoin's price in this free fall. We'll be talking about Bitcoin ETFs. We'll be talking ZCash. Of course, I know you all are talking ZCash. I've seen you in the Discord talking about it. Of course, I've seen the headlines. And what's crazy enough is literally on Monday, we were just talking privacy coins as well. And then I tell you, unfortunately, the market had decided. It looks like the market really decided. And last but not least, we'll quickly discuss it. SEC's Pierce's argues publishing DeFi code is protected speech. But first and foremost, of course, let's go ahead and take a quick look at these prices. Oh my goodness, I can't get the words out. My voice is gone. All right, let's go to Bitcoin top number one. Whoa, my goodness. Oh, it was at 62,000 before we started the show. Listen, I wasn't even going to start the show telling you I was right because it was at 62,000. It is at $59,764 right now, down 6.22%. This is important because yours truly just told you on Monday. Did I not say Monday? Hey, Bitcoin death spiral. I told you all it was coming through some of the fundamental things I've been looking at, through some of the buy and sell pressures I've been looking at, not only on the traditional side, but DeFi side. All roads lead it to a decrease in price. But what I will say that caught me off guard, that I didn't expect, I'll be honest now, I'm transparent. I didn't think it was going to happen this quick. I thought we would hit 60 in about 3 to 4 weeks max. So because this has happened so quick, I will be honest with you. A lot of what I thought was going to happen, and my timeline is kind of jacked up now. I won't lie. It's kind of jacked up. This is, to me, going down fast is the same as going up fast. Remember when we were at 100K, when the talks of Trump getting in office and being backed by libertarians and Bitcoin, the price just shot up, right? And I said, it's too early for it to be shooting up like that. Like the fundamentals aren't there for it to shoot up like that. Same thing right here. I expected it to go down, not this fast. It's kind of crazy it happened this fast within literally 5 days. So now this is kind of thrown off my next phase of predictions, only because it should not have happened this fast to begin with. So personally, do I think we'll continue just dipping? Absolutely not. Like I said, shouldn't have went to 60 this quick. So I don't think we'll continue to just do a straight free fall. However, I can be wrong on this one now, because the fact that it's happened this fast, this is like, again, TA doesn't do anything, fundamental doesn't do anything. We just got to buckle up and wait. And that's what we will be doing over this weekend, because as you know, the buys and sells, really change going into the weekend, since the traditional side isn't used to this 24/7 market. So we could see a further dip. It's Friday. We're already at 60. I don't see any big banks or companies buying Bitcoin tonight. Or today. So, it's quite possible next week we could be at 58, 57, 55 coming into a Monday. Hope we don't see that. I think this is a great opportunity for a bounce. But again, that is very possible. Number 3, Ethereum at $1,548, down 12.9%. Listen, we already knew this. We've been talking Ethereum every time I came on. We were talking about how the maxis are getting out. And I said the people who wanted to get out should have already gotten out. I think that's still true. You have to remember, Ethereum is going to do what Bitcoin does. So if Bitcoin's dipping hard, Ethereum's to follow. But this is also one of those things like, folks, if on Monday, and I'm not even telling you to short the market. I don't tell you anything to, actually. Let's be clear about that. I don't tell you any financial decisions. But with the information you gained, at the very least, if you did not short the market, you are being irresponsible with your portfolio if you did not at least move some of your crypto into stable coins. I mean, that was a layup of, like, when I tell you all I was smiling so bright on Monday before and after the show when the price started doing what the price did, and Tuesday and Wednesday, I was like, oh my God. Like, this is why you don't see me live as often, because I'm not, as much as I want to support and save everybody, I'm worried about saving my own portfolio. I was smiling like a kid on Christmas, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I was like, oh my God. I hope other people just made that quick transition to the stable coins or wherever else they need to do, or short the market, because there were plays to be won this week. All right, number 4, BNB, $562, down 7.4%. Number 6, Ripple XRP, $1.08, down 8%. Number 7, Solana at $62.28, down 10.13%. Tron at number 8, still creeping up, 31 cent, down 3.5%. Hyperliquid, of course, is still swinging in every direction at $58, down 12.7%. I will say it's one of a few coins that avoided a lot of this bear run these last few weeks. For sure, Hyperliquid has still been climbing, even with the market down. And then Dogecoin, they're saying, hey, hell no, we won't go. Dogecoin at 7 cent, down 10.3%. And of course, people are still holding it, thinking it is the future of crypto. Fear and Greed is at a 15, which means you should be buying Bitcoin. I literally just told someone yesterday who may have some more capital coming in. I'm like, if you have like real capital, now, you know me, you know, some of my friends now, folks, we're not talking about, you know, Satoshi or two. When we're talking real capital, I'm like, buy multiple Bitcoin right now. Let's just stop talking. Don't talk to me. I've never been so sure. I'm like, hey, is that 60K or is going to 60K? This is a day or so ago. I said, it's going to 60K, it's going back to 120. Like we're hitting 120 again. We will hit the all-time high again. So at this point, even let's be fair, you might have to wait a couple years until the next happening, 2.5, 3 years. We will hit 120 again. You are legitimately right now looking at one of the best investments on the planet. Right now, it's saying, hey, you will get 100% back within a couple of years because we've seen it happen so many times over and over again. I don't think this is any different. Fear and Greedy index is at a 15, which means now is the time to buy. Oh, and again, shout out to Tom Lee. I told you all, shout out to Tom Lee. Didn't he say right now was the time to be what did he say? Right now is the best time for Bitcoin or something he said the other day. I mean, the guy was way off, and we said it as well. We was like, hold on. If Tom Lee is telling you to go on a buying spree or telling you we're about to hit a high, we know it's the opposite. What was that article? Let me see. Tom Lee. I got to look up the article real quick because it was just too funny. It was too funny. While I'm looking at this article, and since we've already talked about prices, let me go ahead and give a quick shout out to the chat. Hello, Warriors, Michael Kennedy, Chloe Dior, Wisdom Bars. No, this is not going to be the new time frame. I'm just life has been good, man. Life has been good. I'm busy 24/7. So it's one of those things where I had to choose to either not only wake up even earlier to get more things done, which I usually do. I try to wake up at 4 or 5 o'clock, get a workout in, start buzzing around for the day. But if I don't wake up super early, depending on what happened the night before and business like that, I won't have time to get to the show. So it's either not do the show or come back at a later time. I've tried to stick to myself saying, hey, even if you don't do it at your right time, just make sure you go live. So I just want to do that for sure. But no, this won't be the permanent show time. It's just for right now. It's the Asti. What's going on? Price Cobb. That's what I'm talking about. What's up? What's up? All right. So that is Bitcoin right now. Last but not least, I wanted to look at this. Do we got the what is it? The Bitcoin, what is it? The who's running the market right now? I can't even think of the word. Okay, altcoin index is at 41. I thought they had the Bitcoin market cap on here, or the Bitcoin rate right now. I'm trying to wait for it to go across. We'll see if it pops back up. Market cap 206 trillion, down 7.12%. I was trying to see how much of a percent Bitcoin has of the total market right now. That's what I was trying to figure out. Because I know Ethereum, of course, is creeping back up to 12% a couple months ago. Okay, there we go. Bitcoin dominance. That's the word I was looking for. Is at 57.9%. Ethereum dominance at a 9.1. Back to what we kind of were used to a couple months ago. If Bitcoin continues to slip, Ethereum dominance, of course, will continue to slip as well. We'll see how long those maxis hold on. All right, quick announcement. I know I did say I was going to do the Bitcoin Zay story today. It is finished and ready for you all. I'm going to do it next week. You will understand. I guarantee you will understand why. Next week, I'll show you something on the screen. It'll make sense. Literally, I'm just stopping because of a business decision right now. And hopefully I can have some clarity on this business decision by Monday or Tuesday. So hopefully by Friday of next week, I can release everything. But it's here, it's ready. I just have to wait on a business decision. And once this business decision is cleared up, I can move forward. That is it. And I guarantee I will tell you what the business decision is too next week. You all be like, oh, yeah, that's fair, bro. You would have pulled that one off. So maybe I'll pull it off, maybe I won't, but I will tell you that decision for sure. And the reason why it was delayed another week, and the reason why it's been delayed a couple times. But that information is coming. Don't worry. All right, let's go ahead and get this show kicked off really quick. Only a few stories. Of course, most of the things everyone talking about is Bitcoin price. Everyone is scared. You got institutions like Strategy finally selling their Bitcoin. And again, Strategy was only the top story. Don't forget, there's smaller VCs and wealth firms, wealth capital firms, management firms, hedge funds out there that you've never heard of that may have $20 million of Bitcoin, that may have 50 million, hey, 500,000 of Bitcoin. Anything of that magnitude is still a dip in the market. So you never know. It could be smaller platforms and places as well redistributing or rebalancing their crypto portfolios or selling it, not just the big players out there. But here we go again. We've seen this story now for the last 2 years. You all should know this play by now. Bitcoin ETFs bleed $4.4 billion as outflow run extends to 13 trading days. U.S. listed spot Bitcoin ETFs saw $397 million in outflows on Wednesday, extending a 13-day red streak to $4.4 billion as Bitcoin has fallen about 21% since May 15th. Okay. Oh, well, boom. That just answered my question. I was about to do the math on it as well, but it kind of answered my question. So we're right on target as far as what these institutions are doing. It said we saw $400 million almost, right? It's $397 million of outflows the last 2 weeks. And Bitcoin in those last, like, let's say 3 weeks has fallen 21%. If you remember, I said these institutions right now, they're making up about 12 to 15% of the entire market. And this tracks with it. Like, this legitimately tracks with it. I think this is a great sign that we're actually seeing this in real time. They just told you, hey, some of our biggest outflows, we bled 4.4 billion. Let me see, we bled 4.4 billion dollars in the last 13 trading days, with $397 million of those being outflows from ETFs. That's the institutions. That's the 12 to 15% I told you about, and we're at 21%. That is a perfect match. 12 to 15% from institutions, and you get that last 6 to 7% from the retail market / Main Street. That is an accurate number, I believe. I'm glad this article is printed. So something to remember. The price right now is about where it should be at 60K because we just shedded off that $15,000 of, or excuse me, 15% of institutional capital. So the price now is actually where it should be at. Now, people are still scared, so you can expect the retail market to continue to pull out. But for the most part, the institutions already done, they're pulling out. If they continue to pull out, they're going to lose money in the long term as far as their bet on Bitcoin. So they can't, you remember, some people bought in at 80K, 100K, 110K. Some of these institutions bought in pretty high. So on the balance sheet, they can't sell right now. It wouldn't make any sense. They have to hold. Now, the question will become, how long can they hold? Now, in the short term, right now, in the next 3 to 5 weeks, I think they definitely can hold, which is why I think this price will start to kind of stabilize right here where we're at, around 60K, which was my price point indicator. Maybe, everybody gets scared this weekend, do a few more sales next week. Like I said, we'll come in at 57. If we have a very bad week, we'll go down to 54. I do not see us going to 50. I think the retail market has enough money to, like, I know people with 50K. Let me put it like that. I know people with 50K that will throw 50K on a Bitcoin. So I don't think the retail market is going to fall even lower at the 54 mark, down to 50 flat or 49. I don't see that happening. The only way we make this next shift toward the low 50s and maybe even to the 40s is in the next 3 to 5 weeks after this break. If the institutions say, hey, we still didn't sell enough, we still did not rebalance enough, the market is still dropping, the president is still being the president, and we're still fighting wars and spending money in different places we didn't expect to. Oh, and I forgot, tariffs are still high, and we have to bring in, you don't forget, some of these capital firms and stuff, even the BlackRocks of the world, they own other companies that have other interests that do things like trade, import, export. They're being affected by tariffs. So again, I'm saying all that to say I think the price will stabilize right where we're at, maybe a few thousand less. It won't take another significant drop, at least for another month. And the only way that will actually happen is if institutions do a part two of right now. They say, if strategy says, you know what, we do need to sell more. If BlackRock says we do need to rebalance these sheets, if you get more companies and wealth management firms like that with that type of mindset in the next 3 to 5 weeks, if the market continues to go down, not just the crypto market, but the overall market of everything in life, if gas keeps going up, war keeps happening, everything happens as it is, expect these institutions to do another sell-off in about a month or so. And that is when you'll see us hit the mid to low 40s or things like that. You'll start hitting the 40s, low 50s, high mid 40s there. But again, that's all to say, if America continues on the path it's going. If anything happens in the next few weeks where we stabilize or things look brighter, I know it's election season right now. That's scaring a lot of people as well. If we get any type of better clarity, I think we can see the price slowly rise back. It's crazy to say right now, but slowly rise back to 65, 67, 70K as institutions start to rebalance those ETFs. But if the world is still sick in another month, you better believe we are on an elevator down to low 50s, if not 40s. But again, I really like this article because again, it shows you that 21% since May 15th, with those $400 million of outflows coming from institutions, kind of pointing out that hey, this is the 12 to 15% we talked about of these institutions kind of owning in the crypto and Bitcoin space. So no more detail on that. If you want to look into it, of course, BlackRock, IBIT leads these outflows, 3.3 billion. They have all the main players here. You can go ahead and check out Cointelegraph for that in-depth analysis on those specific companies. I like to look at them as a whole, aggregate them. I think we kind of see what direction they're heading in on a weekly basis right now. All right, really one of the top stories of the day. Ooh, we one of the top stories is Max C Nice. I can't see what up though. I can't see the word. I can't see your name from far away. I got my laptop moved back and I'm using a Joyce. What is this called? A mouse right now. Financial conspirator, what's going on? Uh Michael Kennedy said the Zay story is now the bait and switch. I actually feel like that today, but listen, I can't say anything because I'm gonna blow up some business. But just give me a few days next week. I'm definitely gonna tell you. Behind the scenes, everybody who's called me or texted me behind the scenes, I've told the whole story too. So it's not like that. I'll do the whole thing. I just essentially I have a product with it because of course I have to make my money back. The guy beat me for a Bitcoin, right? I gotta make my money back. So I have a product with it. I just don't want to put the product out there until again the business side is good on the business side, but for sure. All right, Zcash. Oh my goodness. I mean, if I really wanted to, I probably could spend 2 hours on this. I'm not going to today. But let's get into it. And it's crazy. I mean, this is literally crazy how it happens. Look, one of you just asked me about privacy coins on Monday. I did like a 5 minute, thought on that, my thoughts on those. And essentially was saying that, hey, as much as I liked them and believed them, the market didn't want them. The market has already spoken. And then you get a story like this. I mean, Zcash drops 30% as Shielded Labs reveals more about infinite counterfeit bug. That's right. Zcash market cap fell by almost $3 billion over the past 24 hours following the disclosure of a critical vulnerability despite it being patched already. And this is something I would say that, this adds to the strength of Bitcoin as well, because with AI, machine learning, and some of the things nowadays that are essentially, speeding up the process of auditing different protocols or code base and things like that, they can find a lot of these holes that humans may have missed, right? They can find some of the critical vulnerabilities or security flaws that an audit by human eyes may have missed, or even earlier technology. So now you essentially have all these blockchains and crypto projects being ran through a even more vigorous ringer than it was before. I'm talking AI, machine learning, and things of the sort. And because of that, I think not only are we starting to see more vulnerabilities, we'll continue to see more as more programs and protocols get ran through this rigorous type of audit. But what I will say, this is very good for Bitcoin, because you better believe if they could have done something like this with Bitcoin, it would have already happened. And the response probably would have been the same. I think, well, actually, no. I think if this were to happen in Bitcoin, as long as it's patched, while you would see a drop, a lot of people are so far in it. I'm talking whole portfolios. We're talking billions of dollars for some of these companies. I think they would patch it and still, hit us with the Ethereum. You know what? It happened. It's too big to fail. We need to keep moving forward. So I do truly think that would happen over Bitcoin. But the price of Zcash fell on Thursday after further details were disclosed of a critical counterfeiting vulnerability in Zcash's Orchard pool that could theoretically allow a bad actor to mint an unlimited amount of Zcash. That's right. They said we opened up this double spin and we're about to double, triple, quadruple spin. According to post on X, security engineer Taylor Hornby, who was engaged by Shielded Labs, is it engaged or hired? I don't know. Discovered the bug on May 29th and disclosed it to the Zcash Open Development Lab, which deployed an emergency response to fix the vulnerability with a hard fork activated on June 3rd. Now, what I will say is the loss here is deserved, the billions of dollars, because, Zcash has had, I mean, when did Zcash come out? Just off the top of my head, I want to say they've legitimately been around since 2017, at least 2016. Let me see. I was trying to look up Tom Lee from Fundstrat. I didn't forget you, Tom Lee. I had him up on my Google. When did Zcash come out? When were they created? Zcash created when? Let me know in the comments. So I don't gotta do this. When with Z. I need a little board right here. Okay, okay, October 28th, 2016. Listen, that is look, that's how you test my crypto knowledge right there. Just start asking about tokens and be like, just tell me when you think came out. They're like, well, I don't know exactly. Yeah, just tell me what you think. We're gonna see how close you got. I said what 2016, 2017. It was created in October 28th of 2016. You can see right here. All right, so here's the deal. For all these 2016 legacy tokens, I had to call them a legacy token. Now it's funny you should consider the 2013 and the 2014 ones legacy, but no, now second iteration, 2016, you're all OG tokens. There shouldn't be any type of security vulnerability of this magnitude. I mean, come on. Come on. So I'm all for them losing that money and people looking at this sideways in an already market or an already space of where people are already looking at privacy coins sideways, not because they don't work, of course, but because most companies and governments and institutions don't want you using them. So there's already so much to go against a privacy coin, and then it's like insult to injury. They go ahead and have a critical flaw that's now patched. No one cares that it's patched because they're thinking, how and why has it been here for so long? And then secondly, I wonder if anybody actually exploited it. I guess we'll continue to read more and see, but I wonder if anyone exploited it throughout this time. And if so, how are they doing it? Were they just doing like $5 a day or something? Kind of like an office space type of scheme, not to get caught. But again, this is the ZCash vulnerability they had. There are new concerns about the extent to which the vulnerability, which has existed since May 2022, has been used, leading ZCash to fall more than 30% over the past 24 hours to $410 at the time of this writing. His market cap has shrunk by more than $3 billion. And it's funny, you all know me. I do not read these articles before the show. I like you all to get my live reaction, and this is why. Like I said, I don't know how much has been used, who's actually exploited it yet, and this article explores this as well. It says it's been open since May 2022, this vulnerability, and they don't know how much has been used. Right? Like, they don't know. There's no way to track it or trace it as of now. And for me, that would be the death of the project to me, is that there could be someone out there with the $100 million of Zcash that they've slowly siphoned off or figured out how to create it more. And we don't even know, and they're waiting to trash the market at any point in time. Looks like Arthur Hayes may be in agreement with some of the Zcash things, but not necessarily the minting of it. BitMEX co-founder Arthur Hayes said on Friday it's unlikely that Zcash has been illegally minted this way, though he acknowledged it cannot be formally cryptographically proved impossible. I agree with that statement. Highly unlikely, right? Highly unlikely. However, in a world of 7 billion plus people, do we want to say it's highly unlikely that one person may have figured out a way to do this behind the scenes and not told anyone? It's not nothing I'll risk my entire portfolio on personally. So as you can see here, he continues, sadly, due to the Orchard Pool exploit, I had to dump our entire Zcash bag. Okay, there we go. I was about to say, Arthur, if he was going to make that statement and stay in the mix, those are going to be the biggest cojones I ever saw. And not even cojones. It's like, that's being slow. That's not being intelligent or responsible, a fiduciary responsible person for a portfolio. That is not that. So I almost thought Arthur Hayes was going to go in a direction like, hey, I doubt anybody hacked it, guys. It's good to use. But no, Arthur Hayes said, hey, I doubt anybody hacked it, but I'm still getting my portfolio out. I agree with that sentiment and that statement. I highly doubt it's been illegally minted, right? Because first you will need to know how to actually exploit it. Then you will have to do the vulnerability. You have to cover your tracks. There's a few, steps you have to take. Not saying it's impossible, but there are some steps. But again, for me and my point of view, when it comes to my money and my portfolio, this was open to the planet, saying no one done it. Someone just found it. You tell me now a second person didn't find it before? I don't know how true that is. The Holy Trinity is dead, he added, referring to Zcash and two other tokens he sold this week. Hyperliquid and Near Protocol. I was just talking about hype. What happened with hype, folks? Y'all let me know. And I was correct on this as well. I kind of figured this because, again, most of these protocols and projects, especially the ones from 2016, 2017, because if you remember, 2017 came the SEC trying to say all the ICOs, of course, initial coin offerings with STO security token offerings. And essentially, they try to retroactively go after everyone who did ICO or essentially any type of protocol project out there to show that this was an actual security. I say all that to say Zcash came under that same type of scrutiny as many other tokens of the time. And the SEC was saying, hey, if we can prove this is security, if we can prove this is, it's unsafe, if someone can hack it, any type of vulnerability you have to your project, we're coming for you. Uh, these projects survived all that, right? Zcash survived that. They haven't been hit with any vulnerabilities or any big uh, news articles like yesterday and today. And I say all that to say because AI wasn't here. That's how I knew all bad already. Like the person used AI. And I'm saying all this to say because I see the headline here. We're about to get into it. Claude assists in bug discovery. Taylor, the person who found the vulnerability, used Claude Opus 4.8, which was released on May 28th. So a day before the discovery, Claude Opus 4.0 was released, and a day later, she found a vulnerability, or he, I'm not sure who they are, to assist in a highly targeted review of the Orchard circuit, the cryptographic component underlying Zcash Orchard shielded pool. Now, something like this is what people worry about when you talk quantum computing, because they're like, hey, what if the bad guys get a quantum computer first and they just do append Bitcoin, right? They go to the origin block. They do it to every token out there. They can double spin, reverse engineer, so on and so forth. Like, what if this happens? We are seeing a mini scale of this right now when it comes to AI and machine learning. Again, I already knew how they cracked it. If something they've been cracked for all these years, there's not like a new developer saying, well, let me go look at it again using the same exact tools everyone has been using for 10 years. People better than me who have said this is solid. Let me go back over their work and figure. No, that's not happening. What is happening right now is people are getting new tools. They're getting new capabilities, and they're saying, hey, these projects haven't been looked at with this scrutiny under this type of technology. So now they're they're redoing all these audits and they're finding this. So again, Zcash won't be the only one. As AI machine learning improves and gets even better, I guarantee, because these are human mistakes made in the code to begin with. So as AI gets better, they will find more and more mistakes. What I can hope that protocols and projects are doing are self-auditing themselves as is AI come out. As, for example, I'm hoping the Bitcoin developers are saying, we're taking all the new AI, like the same way Opus 4.8 or wherever it came out on May 28th. I hope the Bitcoin core contributors took that same AI and ran it through all of Bitcoin's code to say, hey, let's figure out what vulnerabilities may exist before the rest of the world does. I think that's going to be the new thing every project is going to have to do every time a new iteration of AI comes out. That every time a new one comes out, this is smarter than the rest, this is better, this is faster. Run your code through it. Run your code through it. Run your code through it. Because if you don't, some security agency or even worse, just a bug bounty hunter, folk, is going to be out there and run that code for you. And they may not be as nice as telling you to report it. They may, we've seen it before, keep a project hostage or just take over a lot of the capital in the project. So again, shout out to AI, shout out to Taylor. But again, this critical bug allowed for false inputs into a elliptic curve multiplication check, which means the math that is supposed to cryptographically verify transactions could be fooled, essentially creating a type of double spin. Taylor built and tested, well, I won't say a double spin, a double creation, if anything. Taylor built and tested a working exploit which generated unlimited counterfeit Zcash. Okay, it is a guy. If he had run the same tool on Zcash mainnet, it would have generated unlimited, undetectable counterfeit Zcash in his mainnet Zcash wallet, the security researchers said on Friday. Do you all understand how great these black hat? I call them black hat. I don't know why I call them black hat, which is our good positive hackers. No, seriously, do you know what's the word I'm talking about? Like, what's the word when it's like somebody doing the ethical hackers out there? This guy could have had a company for billions of dollars, if not for 100. At the very least, people would have figured out something was wrong. But at the very least, he could have got an easy, let's say an easy 10 to 20 million. I think that's fair, right? Easy 100 million if you really want to go there. The guy could have became wealthy overnight, but he's an ethical hacker. He said, hey, I'll take my my $12,000 this month check or whatever, you were paid off. Or some of these bug bounties are worse. Here's $6,000 for a bug bounty, and here's your billions of dollars back. Do not expect to see this type of altruistic nature with every token out there. It's not going to happen with every project. If anything, we're about to start seeing some of these projects get hit tapped, even some of the ones from back in the day, as we see now, that may think they're safe. So let's see what the rest of the year goes, what AI takes us. But don't be surprised if, at some point later this year, next year, it's like, oh my God, whatever crypto project from 2016, 2017 that's been great for so many years, or so we thought, has this critical vulnerability, except it was actually exploited. the ethical hacker decide not to do the right thing. I wouldn't be surprised to see that. Hopefully, you know, more projects are looking at some of these security companies to get that audit done, but if not, it's a possibility, folks. BK Crypto that said they should give them a bag. You already know it. Crypto and Focus, what up, though? Humney said this is really the crypto Wild West. LOL, exactly like Tales of Wells Fargo, just put on a much larger scale and digitally. You already know it. Um, Ransomware is a huge thing. Look at how Canvas just got shut down and had to pay to release their software used by most of the schools. Oh, yeah, ransomware is a real thing. We got hit for that before. Let's see. So, okay. Oh, okay. So did they hire them? Good. I'm glad you corrected me. Wyatt Try it said, so would you say Zcash did a good job hiring Tyler to find the bug and catching it and fixing it within a day? Or is it all still bad? So I'm not 100% sure that Zcash did hire them. It says Shielded Labs. Did Zcash hire Shielded Labs? Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. Who was engaged? Yeah, Taylor Hornby, who was engaged by Shielded Labs. It didn't say Zcash hired them. It just said that Shielded Labs, they're hired by Shielded Labs. So I'm not sure if Zcash. I'll do a deeper dive and hopefully come up with some answers from that. But just to answer the question as is, let's see. Shielded Labs engaged to conduct ongoing security research focused on Zcash protocol. All right, so I will say if they were hired by Zcash, I think it's a net positive. Clearly the market doesn't agree, but if they were actually hired by Zcash, I think it's a positive. If they were not hired by Zcash, no, I think this is a net negative. So you all let me know if you know for sure. Yeah, Crypto and Focus is saying engaged equals a private audit. So I don't think they were, but yeah, they were. That's good for Zcash, but I highly doubt it, or I really feel like the news articles would be different. If they were hired by Zcash, the articles would have read as more of a press release from Zcash saying, hey, we found a critical vulnerability. We've already patched it, but we want you all to know that this existed, the steps we took, and how like it would kind of read like that instead of a third party saying it back. Hey, we found this, and this is what the world needs to know. So for that reason, I would say I don't think it happened. All right. Last but not least, we're gonna be talking SEC Hester Pierce. I thought she was out or something. I saw a story about her like I want to say a month or so ago that said she was like done being the mom or something. I don't know. Commissioner Hester Pierce says software developers shouldn't face securities obligations simply for creating blockchain tools as the SEC reassesses its approach to crypto oversight. Now, this is kind of an old story that has been like talked about for some time, you know, time and time excuse me, again, when it comes to legislation and regulation in this space, as far as, hey, code is free speech, right? Even software, all this stuff, especially when it's open source, this is free speech. You can't tell people they're not allowed to create code or throw them in jail because of it, even though we've seen it time and time again. Again, we're looking at Tornado Cash or something like that. But I do think it's an important article because of the rhetoric right now, right? This is election season. It's a lot going on in the government. It's a lot of rules being made. A lot of rules and regulations are being torn down or changed or pivoted in different directions, right? So I think right now is a good time to kind of have this highlighted. So as the SEC, as the Congress, Senate, CFTC, everyone's going over the Clarity Act and some of these different type of bills we're trying to get passed through and pushed through, they can say, hey, let's kind of give the software developers a pass. Let's kind of make life a little bit easier for them, even if they're not actually doing it. At least we have this rhetoric to influence it, which I hope will happen. But again, U.S. SEC Commissioner Hester Pierce said that publishing open source code should not subject software developers to federal security regulations, weighing in on a long-standing debate over developer liability and decentralized finance. Now, again, this is just her talking because if you remember, I just mentioned Tornado Cash. Their founder was put under pressure from the United States government as far as what was it? A couple of different agencies. I can't even think of all the different agencies, but they're mad that they created a way for people to mix their Bitcoin. They were saying, hey, this is money laundering. This is money transmission. Like they were trying to throw everything they could at the developer. But again, the software developer, all they did was create code, which is the same as writing a journal entry, right? It's like you write a journal entry, but it becomes something. Now people say, well, you can't write in your journal anymore because it becomes real life. They just wrote some words and symbols on a computer and it turned into a website. And now you're mad that people use the website. So speaking Tuesday at the IC3 blockchain camp at Princeton University. Oh, that's why. The only time they make these comments is when they are in front of people who may hold them accountable. So yeah, Hester didn't mean this. She just had to say it. Pierce said developers who publish blockchain and DeFi code should not automatically be treated as securities intermediaries merely because others use their software. Quote, many blockchain projects involve publishing open source software, which is generally a protected activity under the First Amendment. Pierce said, you see, she said generally, right? This is the SEC commissioner telling you generally. So now that I know this article, again, I'm going to read the article first. Now I don't know what's actually going on here. Here's what's really going on. She went to go speak at, what does it say, at Princeton? Princeton got a lot of software developers, coders, things like that, right? What's the word? Computer engineers. They have all those at Princeton graduating. So of course, the SEC commissioner is going to go say, oh, "You guys don't worry, guys. You do what you came to do. I mean, you're going to code one day, right? As long as you do something the government doesn't like, you'll be fine." So of course, she's not going to go in there with any type of negative rhetoric. She's only going to have positive rhetoric. Like, I'm sure the reason why that came about is because one of those developers in the crowd more than likely asked her a question. She's not just coming out the blue saying, "Yeah, like, developers, you guys got free speech." It makes no sense just to say that. It's probably a Q&A type of deal where someone, or even beforehand, someone kind of hinted toward like, "Hey, what's going on with the way you all are, treating some of the software developers who make DeFi platforms or websites that may go against how the United States does financial business?" And she's probably like, "Oh, well, software developers, we try to give you all free speech generally." So that kind of seems like her tone, without without actually doing anything. Because let's be clear, I, I know Hester Pierce, what she said publicly, and how everyone, crypto mom and all this progressive stuff she's put out there. But if you actually look at her time in the SEC and things that's been going on under her, that's not the truth. So, I mean, cool statement. I'm happy for the rhetoric, but let's see if the SEC actually follows through with this, even if we get another administration that isn't the same type. So let's just see what happens. And last but not least, I was trying to find this article from Tom Lee. We can't let this guy escape today. We got to give Tom Lee his roses. Friend of the show, of course. Friend of the show. Got to interview. I gotta get Tom Lee on the show for real one day. I gotta get Tom Lee on the show to figure out, or to ask him some questions. What was the article the other day? Oh, look, you can't even find it. You can't even find it. Crypto. Tom Lee crypto. There we go. Bitmine. Tom Lee's Bitmine. All right. What did he say? Where are we at with this? Tom Lee a day ago. Oh, there it is. Ethereum at 250,000. I love he doesn't tell y'all the year. Tom Lee said, "I would never tell y'all the year. I'm just going to tell y'all the price." Let's see. Bitmine is offering perpetual preferred stocks with 9.5 annual dividend, aiming to raise up to 300 million. And this is nothing. Why are you raising 300 million, Tom Lee? You supposedly have millions of dollars for years in Bitcoin. Something ain't smelling right. The firm is following the steps of Bitcoin-centric peers like Michael Saylor, New York Stock Exchange. All right, I can't find the topic right now, but we remember Tom Lee on Monday was saying Bitcoin is about to be pumping. We was like, know about that old Tommy boy. Other than that, that is the show for the day. Smash that like and share. I'll look at a few more comments. Like I said, next week, expect the full story. I got you all. Just got to wait for a couple of business things to clear. Last comments. Mike Kenny says, "Don't look negative, but still don't say anything that's concrete." Humney said they hate crypto, all of them, but because at the end of the day, they know it ruins the illusion that drives people to fear the government and their supposed overlords. You already know. SEC siphoned everyone's capital. I love that. All right. Other than that, that's the show for today. I see you all next week. Listen, now is the best time to buy. Fear and greed index is low, but your buy should be at a high. So even if it's $5 or $10, whatever, you're literally chipping off a small piece of digital gold. So take that what you will. Smash a like and share, and I'll see you all next week.